You know that stomach-dropping feeling, right? When you suddenly realize you need your birth certificate right now for a passport or maybe a new job, and you have absolutely no idea where it is. The dread of long lines, waiting rooms, and confusing government forms just immediately kicks in. Well, take a deep breath. Today, we're going to conquer this red tape right from your couch. Welcome to this explainer on exactly how to get a birth certificate copy online in Arkansas. Forget all those outdated myths about slow, mail-in state bureaucracy. We are totally skipping the line today. Arkansas has completely modernized their digital processes, making it incredibly easy and convenient to request these vital records online. It's a real game changer.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Here is a roadmap for today. First, eligibility and requirements. Second, the online request process. Third, payment and fees. Fourth, processing time and delivery. And finally, troubleshooting and common issues.
All right, Section 1, Eligibility and Requirements.
So before we click any buttons, we really need to figure out if you're actually legally allowed to request the document. The Arkansas Department of Health, or the ADH, is the official agency managing these vital records. And, to protect personal privacy, not just anyone can grab a copy. Eligible requesters include the person named on the record, assuming you're 18 or older, of course, as well as their parents, spouses, children, grandparents, or designated legal representatives.
And this brilliantly illustrates the strict ID standards the ADH enforces. You basically got two options here. You can provide one primary document, think an unexpired U.S. driver's license, a passport, or a resident alien card. But hey, if you don't have one of those handy, no worries. You just need a combination of two secondary documents. That could be a work ID paired with a W-2, maybe a signed Social Security card, or a current utility bill. Together, these just establish a preponderance of evidence that you are who you say you are.
Moving on to Section 2, the online request process. Now that you've got your ID sorted out, it's time to actually navigate the digital landscape. There are 3 authorized pathways you can confidently use to process your request online. First up is the official Arkansas eGov portal, which you can find at ar.gov/vitalrecords. Second is VitalCheck. This is the state's sanctioned third-party vendor, and it's incredibly useful if you need expedited shipping. And third is Go Certificates, which is an alternative authorized partner interface that routes your application directly to the ADH for fulfillment. Let's move to the next step and see how this builds. The ordering steps are actually super straightforward. Step 1, choose your portal and punch in the details. You're going to need the registrant's full legal name, their exact date and place of birth, and, this is absolutely key, the mother's full maiden name. Step 2 is identity verification. And Step 3, simply pay via your credit or debit card. Let's talk a little more about Step 2, because honestly, this is where the modern system really shines. Arkansas's online portals use LexisNexis identity verification. It's basically a real-time verification engine that instantly compares the details you just typed in against public records and financial databases. This completely bypasses the old need for physical signatures or mailing in notarized affidavits. It makes the whole shebang incredibly smooth. All right, Section 3, payment and fees. So the crucial point is knowing exactly what this will cost you before you reach that checkout screen. The standard base fee for a single certified copy of an Arkansas birth certificate is exactly $12. That's your baseline. Now, if you need multiple copies, say one for a passport and one to keep tucked away in a fireproof safe, any extra copies of that exact same record ordered simultaneously are just $10 each. Now, because you're ordering online, there are a few digital convenience fees. To break it down for you, your total mandatory cost for a single online order is made up of the $12 base fee, a $5 online processing fee, and a $1.85 identity verification fee. And you can easily cover this total using Visa, MasterCard, Discover, or American Express. I do need to give you a quick warning, though. If the state searches their archives and absolutely no record is found under the name you provided, well, state law requires the ADH to keep that $12 base fee as a search fee. On top of that, those digital processing and verification fees are always non-refundable, simply because the electronic system already did the work to verify you. Which brings us to Section 4, processing time and delivery. Let's set some realistic expectations for when this vital record will actually hit your mailbox once you click submit. If you use the official state eGov portal, here's your typical timeline. After your order is approved and your identity is successfully verified, it generally takes about 7 to 14 business days for the state to process the request. Once it's processed, your certificate is popped into the standard USPS mail, so you'll need to pad that with a few extra days for the post office to do their thing. Now, what's really interesting here are your shipping options. Standard USPS mailing is the default, but what if you're in a massive rush? Well, VitalCheck offers a heavily negotiated UPS next-day air rate for $18.61. If you have a looming deadline for a trip or a new job, that expedited option is literally a lifesaver.
And the best part? You aren't left in the dark wondering where your document went. Here's a highly actionable tip. You can actively monitor your order's progression using the state's real-time order status tracker at vitalrecords-utilities.org/status check. Just plug in your confirmation number and you can see exactly where your certificate is in the processing queue.
Next up, Section 5, Troubleshooting and Common Issues. So what happens if things don't go perfectly? If you hit a bureaucratic snag, don't worry, there are simple solutions and official support systems waiting to help. First, a major pitfall to avoid. If you're doing genealogy research and trying to find a birth record for an event before February 1st, 1914, or prior to 1881 for Little Rock and Fort Smith, you actually cannot order these online. For these much older archival records, you have to submit a manual written request to the ADH for a physical search of the state's paper archives. Here's another super common question. What if my digital LexisNexis identity verification fails? This can happen for a bunch of reasons. Maybe you recently moved, changed your name, or just have a thin credit file. If it fails, seriously, don't panic. You'll likely just be prompted to manually upload photos of your primary or secondary ID documents straight into the portal so state staff can review them manually.
And if you get truly stuck with a technical hiccup, the ADH has an official support system ready to go. You can call their technical support help desk toll-free at 866-290-9482, or just shoot them an email directly at adh.vitalrecords@arkansas.gov. They are there to empower you to get the documents you need.
And just like that, you are empowered and prepared to navigate the Arkansas Vital Records system completely online. See? Way easier than trying to find parking at a government building, right? If you've gone through this process yourself and have any extra tips, please share your success stories in the comments below. We'd love to hear them.
Before we officially wrap up, just a quick legal note. The information provided in this explainer is based on current procedures, but as we all know, state policies and fees are always subject to change. So please verify all details directly on the official Arkansas Department of Health website, or consult a legal professional if you have complex identity or legal relationship questions.
So now that you know exactly how to secure your Arkansas birth certificate right from your couch, what major life milestone are you going to conquer next? Whether it's traveling the world, getting a new license, or starting that dream career, the red tape is no longer in your way. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and remember, bureaucracy is totally beatable when you know the rules. Keep learning.